We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore.
There it is. President Trump threatening once again to deploy National Guard troops to Baltimore City, claiming he does not need local permission to do it. This comes just hours after a judge ruled his move sending federal troops to Los Angeles broke the law. Welcome in to the news at 11, everyone. I'm Rick Ritter. For weeks, President Trump has threatened to send troops here and to other cities dealing with crime. And today, he doubled down, saying he is deploying the National Guard to Baltimore, but still no word on when that will be. This comes as troops are already on the ground in D.C. And at the time, the mayor there said it was not needed and crime was already down. But just last week, Mayor Muriel Bowser noted those deployments are having a positive impact on crime throughout the district now. The White House says other Democratic leaders should follow her example. And WJZ has tracked Baltimore City police numbers, which continue showing substantial drops in both homicides and non-fatal shootings for what has been more than 2 years now. The mayor and Governor Wes Moore both saying Baltimore has not been this safe in decades. But even as the overall numbers drop, there has been a series of high-profile violent crimes hitting popular nightlife districts and neighborhoods with reputations for peace and quiet. WJZ is live at 11 o'clock tonight. Tara Lynch on your corner in Federal Hill. And Tara, what is the community there saying tonight about all of this?
Rick, we've really had a mixed reaction here this afternoon and into this evening. Some people say that this could be a change of pace for Baltimore and could actually be helpful to have National Guard and just other manpower here. Other people I spoke to say that the National Guard has no business patrolling these streets.
No one wants tanks rolling down the street, but something else has to happen here.
During a news conference Tuesday, President Trump hinted at sending troops to other cities, including Chicago and Baltimore.
Baltimore is a hellhole right now.
The president has mentioned this before during a lengthy war of words between him and Governor Wes Moore. The president says this is in an effort to improve safety.
We're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore.
We do not need or want the National Guard in Baltimore to do that.
But city and some state leaders are doubling down, saying federal troops aren't needed in Maryland, touting Baltimore City's almost 30% decrease in homicides this year alone. Despite D.C. leaders saying the National Guard is helping, Mayor Brandon Scott told WJZ's Denise Koch Tuesday night he challenges those results.
How many actual gun offenders did they remove from the city of D.C.? How many people involved in drug organizations, gun trafficking organizations, versus how many people they just picked up for other things? It's about who, not how many people they arrest, whether you're here in Baltimore or anywhere else in the country.
I think this is another version of war on drugs, and I think everyone really knows that. The darker the berry, the bigger the target, and I think we're seeing that right now.
Meanwhile, others in Baltimore City say the National Guard could bring a change of pace. Last November, John Berardi was walking home after getting pizza on a Saturday night when he was beaten by juveniles with a metal pole on South Charles Street. He's left with permanent damage in his eye. He says additional manpower could make people feel safer.
You hear crime is down, that's the storyline, but people aren't going outside after dark because they're afraid. Homicides are down, but quality of life crimes are way up through the roof, and juvenile crime is terrible. It's definitely a change and something that actually deters crime, which we have none of today.
And we're hearing from a lot of state leaders on social media tonight and through statements. We heard from the Maryland Freedom Caucus this evening, who said Governor Wes Moore should be willing to work across the aisle to protect the citizens of Maryland. Meanwhile, we heard from the governor's communications director in a statement who said, while we tried to decipher exactly what the president meant today, the governor has been consistently clear. The use of the National Guard for municipal policing.
And that was Tara Lynch reporting. Now we'll wait and see when and if it will happen. And like Mayor Scott and Governor Moore, leaders in Chicago pushing back against the president's plan for their city. The president points to recent violent crime in Chicago. The Illinois governor says President Trump is only looking to throw his weight around.
Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel They had, I guess, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets.
None of this is about fighting crime or making Chicago safer. None of it. For Trump, it's about testing his power and producing a political drama to cover up for his corruption.
And Pritzker also says the president is pushing him and others to invite federal troops since the president cannot legally send them in on his own without reason. And today, a federal judge in California ruled the Trump administration broke the law by deploying the National Guard to Los Angeles this year. Those troops, if you remember, were deployed to respond to protests against the president's mass deportation program. The judge's ruling only applies to California, but it did take into account the president's threats against other jurisdictions, saying in part, quote, President Trump and Secretary Hegseth have stated their intention to call National Guard troops into federal service in other cities across the country, thus creating a national police force with the president as its chief.